think we're good here. Welcome and welcome back, everyone, to the channel. This is Arts of the Round Table. My name is Mello, and I think we're gonna try to have a chill day today. This is kind of an impromptu stream. I was feeling some type of way, and I wanted to get out of my own head and do something positive. So hopefully, it'll be positive, and this painting will come out nice. So, give me 1 second, please. Okay. I thought I was getting an echo. If you guys are out there and you hear an echo, please let me know so I can correct that immediately. All right, so what do you guys see here? I'm just going to try to get right into it. I got my brushes. I got my gouaches, water, my palette. And I have a Supergirl sketch cover. It's a comic book with a blank cover, and it's been treated with clear gesso, so I'm gonna give that a hoot. I had asked a few artists online if gouache can be used on a sketch cover, and they all said no. So of course, challenge is accepted. And we're going to find out together if it was successful or not. All right. Okay. So, here we go. And you know what? I thought it'd be kind of sweet. The poor actress for the upcoming Supergirl movie is getting so much trash. People are just mean, period. And, you know, it doesn't take too much to be nice. It really doesn't. So, I wanted to paint Supergirl. It's been a while. Said I've painted or drawn a pretty or beautiful woman. It's been a bit. So, we'll see if we can knock it out. Where is... I always feel like I'm ready until I'm not. I always feel like I'm ready to go, and then I realize that I'm not. All right, so palette knife. So here we go. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to move that so I can see it. I'm sorry, I do a lot of talking to myself. So, yeah, thank you guys and gals for hanging out. Real quick, like I said, sketch cover, gesso, clear gesso, and we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Is anybody interested in that movie coming out? Honestly, I am not really feeling James Gunn's DC I'm not feeling it. I don't know what to call it. His movement, his DC movement. I don't know. I'm not quite convinced. I know his Superman movie made a lot of money, but I don't care for it. Is that bad? I really don't. I may have to watch it again. I've only watched it one time in theaters, and I didn't like it. What can I say? What can I do? I'll put my palette here so you guys can see. So I'm just trying to grab a bit of colors so I can move around. I'm going to use the yellows, oranges, and deep oranges and red for her cape, Supergirl's cape, and yellow sparingly for highlights and her hair. I want to try to subdue it. Let's get some... I don't normally use the flesh tone what usually comes in any of these color sets. But I think I might today. I say I don't use it often, and it looks like I have used it often. I'm a fitter. darker pale, so I'm going to use some of this purple here. And a lot of white. But I hope everyone had a nice weekend. My weekend wasn't too bad. I get to hang out with my daughter, my boys. My daughter came home from college. She didn't stay the whole weekend, just for the day, and that is good enough for me. I kind of like the way that blue mixed in with whatever that is. I'm going to do a lot more mixing as we go. Move this over. What else we got? I don't know, quite sure what I'm going to do with the background, but right now I'm just going to try to focus on the hair and the cape and move along. Like I said, this is kind of impromptu. There's a lot of stuff going on, not just in the world, but people and friends, and just there's a lot of stuff going on. And I didn't want to sit in my feels today after a great weekend. You know, I wanted to make sure that I maintain a positive disposition, because it was a positive weekend. It's just the devil's a liar, and things happen to affect us on a daily, because we're always being challenged and we're always being tested and affected. For instance, you get a new car, get an engine light, new pair of shoes, step in a pile. We all heard the song. It's like rain on your wedding day. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's see if we can do this. But I decided to go on with a sweeter, softer picture. I've been doing a lot of these dark portraits and paintings. Here, I'll show you. Very moody paintings and drawings, like this Daredevil and this Punisher and the other ones. And I have a Spider-Man that I'm going to do sometimes this week. So if you guys are interested, make sure you come and hang out and check that out. But yeah, I wanted a lighter mood. Anyway, enough about me. What about you? How you guys doing? All right. All right. I know I don't have it in here, but I'm going to use some of this. If you guessed already, I am actually all over the place today, because I'm just not quite sure what to do, what's going to happen with this piece one. One second, you guys. All right, never mind. Yeah, I was kind of freaking out because I've been getting a lot of messages about fraud on my email. So I was hoping nobody stole my stuff. But no, false call. False alarm. All right, let's go. Move this over. And then just start building up. Hopefully that the gesso will hold up. This paper, because of the gesso, is a little tacky to the touch. So far, so good. I don't know what I was expecting. With the way I do my artwork and my painting, Art Nerd in Motion. I am doing well, and thank you for the compliment. How are you? I may have a little bit too much water. Awesome. But so far so good. The buckling of the paper is because of the gesso. But yeah, I was looking for a change of pace. Do something a little bit more lighthearted and for several reasons, of course. One, for personal, and two, just as I'm not a champion of the movie that's coming out. I haven't seen it. I'm not really even feeling too much interest in it. I know the story that they've adapted, and not even the full story because I didn't read the the whole run. I do have that book in my library by Everly Bilquist, who's an amazing artist. But I don't know the tone, and it looks like I know it's not James Gunn that's directing it, but his fingerprints all over it. And unfortunately, because of his success with Guardians, it just looks everybody wants to crib that style. It's kind of like when, in the height of Michael Bay, everybody was trying to bay up their movies. So, meh. That's all I say. I got a large meh in my heart for it right now. I would rather try to read the story. I want to give some variety to the shade under for the hair in the shadow here. But I have to be careful it doesn't come out green. There's going to be some light coming from the right hand side. It's something a little different that I do. I'm right handed, so most of my artwork has light coming from the left side of my drawings and paintings, which is kind of weird. if I do admit. What I'm doing is I'm using a little bit of white with the mix of hair color for the hair, just so that I can blend it a little bit. Most of the stuff is still wet, and the white will kind of like solidify it and give it a uniform look a little bit. How do I use music without getting copywritten? It depends on the channel. I think if the channel is not monetized, then I think that you could be okay. Plus, there are no lyrics in the channels that I listen to. It's just music, and I have a sinking suspicion that the music is AI generated. And I apologize to the channels if that's not the case, but if you listen to it, you go, yeah, that's a little bit. It's very repetitive. It's just something that I put in the background for just noise, a little noise, but that's it. And I don't get enough views to get monetized on my channel, views or watch hours. So I don't think I'm so much of a threat to anybody. Not yet, anyway. That's probably it though. But yeah, I use and they're pretty big, the channels. Well, that one has about 4,000 subscribers, a little more. But yeah, if you're looking for a way, try to find them in that sense. I thought YouTube was cracking down on kind of like bot style. My mic. About bot styled channels, but we'll see. I know when I started my channel, I would get nothing but just these they basically scam or how to make money quick. Find a niche, pay a certain amount of money for this application. It does everything for you, and it's all AI driven. Oh, your stuff is good. You should get it. I appreciate that. Well, that's the goal, My goal, one of many, is to get monetized so that YouTube can pay me to do this. I am currently unemployed, so I'm trying to make this my full-time job, which I'm enjoying. It's just kind of difficult at first because I'm not making any money. So I'm pushing my art, got my stores out, stuff like that, and meeting and collaborating with people with great artists. I need more brown for that. But I think all in time, my bud. All in time. I'm trying to find the form of the hair without having to draw so many strands. So, or make it too dark in certain areas. So, I think it's coming out okay. And I'm okay with this stuff. It's gonna be blended into the background anyway, into the back of the hair. So it's okay if it's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Blended, overly blended. Because that, when it dries, you can go in there with some sharper colors and make it pop. You have a good weekend, bud? Get to hang out or just chill out? I am going to, in a few minutes, I think once I'm good rocking here, I'm gonna share some artwork that I have for sale, but not for. It's for a good cause. But I just want to draw a little bit before I start hawking my wares. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, I have no idea. All right, so because I want her hair to look like it's glowing, I'm gonna let this side dry out and set. I'm gonna make her look pretty pale. See if I can pull it off. Trying to keep in mind what's the word I'm looking for? The sections of the face. I may have to zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so too much water there. I'm gonna mute my mic so my dog won't blow your ears out. Sorry about that. That's enough, bud. Just yell, and that's it. I'm kind of losing the softness here. Oh, wait. This is always the part of the painting where you question everything. You really do have to trust the process here. If not, you're gonna be it's gonna be a pretty miserable experience. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's it's so weird because when drawing comic book characters, especially guys, you really don't you want it to almost look as ugly as possible. Big, muscular, and then if you do that a lot, you kind of lose the softness in your touch when you're doing the female figure or the face. So, but there's a lot of stuff going on here that is kind of like fighting me. One of them is my patience. There are results that I'm expecting, and when I don't see them, get a little frustrated, but I got to keep reminding myself that it's really early. I think a lot of painting, especially for younger artists, is acceptance of this stage, being okay with how it's gonna look. It's, a lot more often than not, it looks ugly before it gets where you want it to be. And I think ugly is a bad term for it, but And I think it's about getting out of our own way. Getting out of our own way, dealing with expectations from ourselves, from others. Who are we trying to please at that moment? And most artists are never happy with their art. With their art. I'm not talking about in life. That's not a bad bass. I need to get underneath that nose a little bit. I want the majority of the shadows on her face to be warm. I feel like I haven't drawn this in this smaller scale in a while. Whew. Oh, my back. I'm getting old, buddy. I want to make this side of her face. Certain pieces glow, so I have to set the groundwork so that I can work on that glow effect. I feel like the hair is too yellow. I wish I could put more red in there. I might be able to. Some glow on the outside. Yeah, everything seems to be drying really quick on my palette. I wonder if there's something that I can use to counter that. Yeah, it looks a little wild, the hair. Uh, but I know that I'm able to go back and I'm going to refine it. Some of these pieces in the back need to be a bit darker. And I want some of these colors to start laying on top. But yeah, thank you, man. I think it's a pretty good beginning. Let me plan here with the planes. That's what I couldn't remember. Planes of the face. I'm pretty surprised and about the quality of the paper, even though I used clear gesso on this sketchpad on this blank sketch cover. I figured the paper felt like a kind of like a lower quality Bristol, and because I use the majority of my artwork is on Bristol, I thought I'd be comfortable using it. All right. I think it'll be a good idea to keep moving and keep moving and keep moving and not get too excited on one spot and then overwork it. So let's do that. Let's get some vermilion in here. It's too deep. So what I was saying about the paper, the sketch cover feels like a lower quality or a lower version of a thicker, less thick. Jeez. Bristol. and I'm comfortable with it. And this actually is holding up really, really well. I think this would be nicer here. What's going to be interesting though is when I fold it, when I close the book, if it's going to get chewed up, if it's going to break apart, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be thick. Oh no, I am not listening to this. That's not my jam. I kind of lost the blue in here. I want the blue in this shadow. Maybe I can grab it later when everything dries. There's a little bit of blue in here, but... Well, what'll be good about it is that it'll pop her out. She'll stand out a bit more. I keep going back to how the paper feels because it feels really satisfying underneath the brush. Even with the smooth quality of it. Yeah, that's too purple, but maybe doesn't matter. I think I could get some blues in there. I wanna soften up that deep, but I'll do it when I start adding the red. Some red here. I don't like, sorry Himi, I don't like the crimson color they give you with the Himi for their red. After so many paintings with this set. But we're gonna make it work. Art Nerd, are you a fan of Supergirl. I don't think she gets a lot of. You know what? Before I even say that, I just have to be honest about. I don't really read much Supergirl books anyway, so I probably shouldn't preface anything. I am a fan of the character, though. I think I understand why they made her. I just don't find it as interesting. But we definitely need to be a bit more kinder, man. They This is from a guy who's not really. Oh man, that looks dark on screen, doesn't it? We're gonna have to work on that. Maybe with a bigger brush. I may have gotten a bit heavy-handed. Yeah, so I feel you. Gonna have to use this orange to kind of like bleed it to this red. Oof. I definitely went a little over heavy-handed on that cape. So I'm going to have to let it sit and see if I can revive it a little bit later with some better colors. But maybe it works in my favor. But oh man, it's a little darker than I want it. But I think I'll be able to blend it in later. We shall see. If I can choose one, DC or Marvel, in terms of comic books, I have to go. Oh, you know what, man? That's so dividing. It's so dividing. I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna say Marvel. I really am. Um, I think it's just because I when I was little and picked up comics, it was basically my cousins. My cousin Robert. It was his comics, and he had more Marvel. Well, he had a bunch, but he had both Marvel and DC, and I think I gravitated more to Marvel. He didn't have a lot of Spider-Man stuff. He had a lot more X-Men stuff. So, but he did have DC. He had very obscure DC stuff, and then he had some very prominent DC books during that time. He had the Death in the Family book when they killed Robin. and I didn't quite understand it. I was young enough to know and read it, but I'm like, why they do that? Did they really do that? Too young to appreciate what was happening, and also too young to not hate it so much as hate Jason Todd as much. But yeah, I think I'm gonna need different colors because my colors are getting muddy. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go Marvel because that was it. And he had an issue of X-Men. The cover had Wolverine versus Sabretooth on it, and they were tearing each other's face in them. I was hooked. And you got to remember at the time when I was, the only Batman that was available to me at a steady peak was the 60s version, the TV version of Batman, the Adam West one. So I didn't take it as serious. And I was too young even when Frank Miller stuff came out. So I missed all of that stuff. I missed all the angsty stuff, but the X-Men were always there. So yeah, man, just like their old calling card was, right? Make mine Marvel. I think I'm gonna have a hard time trying to lighten that up, considering maybe not. I might have to go extreme and just start blending downwards. Let's see if that's possible. Let me clean my brush. So I'm using orange and some vermilion to kind of form this red, to form the red. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll find out. I definitely overworked the cape. And I am kind of in struggle mode to fix it, but we'll see. I might have to just move on a little bit. I don't want to use white and red to lighten this up because then you end up getting pink. But this doesn't look like a flowy cape. It just looks like a fruit roll-up. But we'll see if I can lighten it up once I start getting other colors in here. Let's liven up her blue. So I'm mixing a couple of blues with some dry gray that I have on my palette. kind of desaturate it, and this will be, and then I can layer my lights on it. And I think it'll give it a more realistic quality. Some blue and light blue in there. All right, I'm gonna see if I can blend in these. But yep, X-Men, Marvel. And I grew up with Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends. So there's too much gray, and it's difficult to try to level out this. That blue is really lame. Like all the blue has lost its luster. It almost needs a little bit of green in there. Shoot, maybe those professionals were right. You can't use gouache on these. But I shan't be denied. So, art nerd, just the X-Men, or any other characters in the Marvel pantheon of heroes that you like? The color is dull, really dull. Okay, dokes. That's that. So. A couple of people's hanging out. They got a little Easter hangover, I guess. I think the next time I do this, I might have to use a different gesso. I usually use Liquitex. Liquitex. It always leaves a really good texture on the paper. While this new this gesso that I'm using, this primer, that's why. Smooth texture. Bwomp. Well, now that I know. So it's not that fault. Not its fault. I just didn't read it. So maybe I should stick to my Liquitex. I enjoy the texture. I wasn't expecting the gesso to smear as much. So that caught me off guard on this. I'm not blaming the painting. I'm blaming the artist. Or the equipment. I blame myself. I am to blame. Denka. How are you, Denka? Oh, and thank you for the compliment. Appreciate that. Let's see if we can do something with this guy. I wasn't really planning on it, but maybe if I can do something back here, it'll make me... so she can stand out. I'm not going to do too much here. Denka, can you, let me see if I can be heard here. Excuse me. Stop that. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can hear me. Yellow. But yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping on. Just conducting an experiment with this sketch cover to see if it'll hold gouache, and so far it's doing okay. I don't know how I'm doing. Trying to add some whimsy. Whatever I end up struggling with, I usually just do here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just working on the side here. On the clouds. Add movement. Yeah, but no stress Monday. We just hanging out, we chilling. That's all we're doing. Who knows? Who knows? I think it needs. I don't know. I think it might be too light. I'm not all that comfortable with skies, and that's something I have to work on. Or maybe if I had a plan. What I'm really trying to do is just tax this paper. Treat it rough to see what it can take, and then I can put it to the test later on. You don't know who this character is? This is... Wow. First of all, wow. No, I'm just kidding. Supergirl, she is, if you're familiar with Superman, she is his older cousin. She looks younger than him because during her trip to the planet, she got detoured. Yes, if you did see her a few months back, it's probably because there's going to be a movie about this character called Supergirl. But yes, she is Superman's cousin. Of course. I believe she was meant to arrive here first. Arrive here. In the comics to arrive on Earth first. I don't want to start messing with the details just yet, but I need to find my lines. Kind of lost my lines with all the paint. One of the things I have to remind myself is not to rush. Most of these paintings, even this something this small. How long have I been here? An hour and 20? And I already drew it, so it's been almost 90 minutes of painting. You gotta take your time. I might have to clean my water. I'm sorry if I get really quiet. I start concentrating. So, are you using reference or image, or are you drawing from? So, I do a little bit of everything. What does that mean? So, what I have in front of me is I have Pinterest, and I'll have pictures of the character. More for feeling in the atmosphere of the character, but most of the stuff that I do is from imagination. This pose really isn't all that technical, straight on pose. So, you know, I don't want to say things are simple, but I try to keep it simple. So then I use all my other references from Pinterest or whatever to just get a feel of the character and make sure the suit and the did I do it correctly? And I'll use images from like modeling photos just to get specific lighting, that type of stuff. So it's a mixture of everything. The concept is from my imagination, but then all the other resources, so you have to kind of give kudos to that. If that makes sense. Yeah, so I mean, not that it's hard to be original, so I try to, especially with something like this that was just kind of like a test. I just wanted to be able to do something pretty quickly. But yeah, this pose isn't very. Again, I don't want to downplay it. It is, but it's a very simple pose. And there's so many awesome references you can use from makeup tips and things like that, or photography for lighting. So it's all about trying to find the right balance. Oh, I'm getting real quiet. Yeah. Thank you. And there's so much to. I had to kind of not speed it up, but the way gouache works, if I kind of there's certain places that I overworked, and I didn't want to do that with the hair. Yeah, I kind of like the hair too. Came out pretty good. This thing has a very. I think I've been looking at his work a little too often lately. Steve Rude quality to it. But he's a master at this stuff, so I'll stay in my lane. Well, I'm trying. I think after so many layers, once you start adding more on top, as long as it's a controlled layer, it'll sit on top pretty smooth. I don't think I would have needed so many layers if it wasn't for me not me not using the correct type of gesso. But I mean, if it works, I'll take it. Like I am super enjoying the process just because I don't know what's gonna happen. I kind of like the mystery behind it. I'm enjoying the challenge and the struggle of it, of learning and trying to figure it out on the fly. It wasn't what I expected, but sometimes the best type of surprises. There's so many great gouache artists out there that you gotta stay in your lane. I have to be careful not to pull up too much. I haven't done a piece like this in a long time. So I'm trying to take it all in actually and enjoy the process. I have a tendency when I'm drawing to use a lot of lines, but you have to kind of like control that when drawing young characters. 'Cause more lines on the face makes them look old, and I think it does the same when painting. So I'm trying to avoid it, but I'm also a noodler, so I'm constantly fighting against myself. And I do want it to look smooth. I need more of that purple with white. That's one of the most fascinating things you say, that it looks smooth and dynamic, and I thank you for that, is the way gouache dries and blends and merges with layers underneath. You can really pull off some amazing effects. Again, with patience. Right, I think I might hold off here on the face so I can let it dry, and I might have to come back up here. For some more highlights. I don't use the round brush as often. I've been using it a lot more lately. And it's because when I use it, I tend to kind of draw more with it, and I want to paint instead of draw when I'm, if any of that makes makes sense. need to do more implying. Oh no, I forgot to draw her ears. It's okay. Alright, she's coming along though. Let's see if we can get a... Can't stay away, but I need to fix that piece. I lied to myself. Alright, I'm going to use a different brush here. I'm using a bunch of different brushes just because they give you different brush strokes, obviously. You can get a little bit more tighter with the round brush, this one here. I'm using a filbert, which is kind of rounded tip. That allows for some pretty good smoothing. And even for some edges. There I go, I got quiet again. It's just one of those days, really. It's gray outside. And it kind of like sets the mood in the house here. A nice dark shadow right here. Trying to keep all the shadows pretty smooth, not smooth, pretty warm. So there's a lot of red in them. And I might use that, what was it, this one? As my line art. I am a bit concerned that that cape looks ugly. Don't tell nobody. And I really don't know how to fix it. Too much water. I might use some metallic Artezas for blue eyes. I think that'll be a nice cool pop. Maybe. Still kind of figure it out. I'm not very happy with the way the blue looks on her suit. I haven't been able to mix a proper blue, and I think I might be using way too many blues. And it's also very gray and muddy and subdued, and I don't know if I like it. It could also be that my water is really dirty. The problem that I have sometimes is that when I paint, and if it's successful, I don't always retain what it was that was successful about it, which is a hard thing to admit. But in a sense, is a certain technique or something, so it will elude me on my next one. So in my last painting, I drew the Punisher and Daredevil, and they're muscular, and there's tons of definition. And I shaded their shoulders very dynamically, in my opinion. I'm sorry, I'm just moving stuff around. And because I wanted her to look a lot softer, I didn't use that same technique, and I think that was a mistake. I should have. And the technique was I would go, let me pause that, dark to light. Here, I'll show you an example if I don't ruin my painting. And this is a very extreme example because there's not much in terms of shading. It's just kind of black to the red. There's some variations, but you really can't do that to that shoulder. I'm trying to keep it softer than that. And then there's this one, even though it's darker colors, the shading gradient is a bit more dynamic. Right? I probably should have used this technique here with my blues to light blue, the way I used the grays and black. So that's what I mean by not being able to retain a certain technique or something that worked. If I take a moment in between, it won't stick around. So I end up having to oh, that's right. That's how they worked the last time. But that's all right. Like I said, there is no right way if it's your way. That's terrible. All right, let's see if I can find my way back here. And there's a lot of glare going on because of my lights. So I'm kind of losing the form here. I'm gonna have to redraw it. starting some definition. But yeah, that's very Steve Rude-esque, man. I wish I knew what it was. Maybe I should watch more of his videos. The thing I get from Steve Rude is that he seems just, obviously he's been doing it for a long time. It just seems very natural to him. And he knows what he's doing. He's very confident in his brushstrokes. But he also knows how to bring himself back. If he sees he did something that's just not going to work, he can see it immediately. I think. Maybe I'm hyping up Steven, but the dude knows. And I think I just have to be a bit more confident. I think the whole streaming and the whole sharing in live kind of like adds a little bit for someone like myself who well, how can I say, just turned pro, or is trying to turn pro, or is trying to entice people to commission and to hire. Hey, look how good I am. But I also want to just hang out. So I don't know. I don't know, party peoples. You tell me. I want to add some blues to her hair. What I'm really happy about is that I am using up my colors. This is the third year I've had these, and I got another brand ready to go. I mean, I don't have to wait for for that to diminish or to empty. Like really, there's nobody stopping me today. I'm just a weirdo. See, now because of those layers, I can start building the hair, building all these little layers, and it'll start coming to life. Hopefully I don't lose the the nice yellow here. Trying to add a bit of dimension here. Using purples to dark blues as my shadows and deep shadows. I don't want to use too much black, even though I have it over here in my palette. I think it just adds a little bit more life if you don't. Just kind of vary your the colors in your shadows. And remember, if you're going to be painting or drawing hair, don't do strands. Don't. I mean, if you want to, if that's your style, do it. How can I tell you not to? But if you want a more kind of like a dynamic look, shapes. Think of the hair in shapes. That needs a little bit more red. Think of them as honks of three-dimensional. I like that look because it's going to make it look like it's glowing on the top end. I'm putting in light, but it's not going to be my highest highlight. I just want it there so that that's where my major highlights are going to bloom from. I'm contaminating my palette a lot. So we start getting reckless. And then I'm sure I'm going to complain that my colors are muddy. clean it, clean it. Alright, I was supposed to be doing the suit. What the heck am I doing? And I still don't feel like I have the right color for the suit. I didn't want to cover my name or the artist's name, but I might have to, because that sticks out like a sore thumb. Or leave it. And I didn't clean my brush. Let's see. And it's too wet. Too wet, and it started to pull up my lower layers. So I might have to wait or force it and use it to my advantage. Sometimes it works. Only time will truly reveal if it did work. I'm purposely leaving some areas because I want it to look like the suit is creased around the armpit area here to give it dimension. Now I'll use a lighter color, and what I'll do is I'll begin to blend that into that dark area. If I can find the right tone. Let's see. Put some down, wipe, and then I'm basically trying to reactivate the lower layer. And then merge everything together by blending it. Sometimes it works. Sometimes not so much. Sometimes it may be good, or sometimes you already know what that might be. Grab a little bit more of this dark. 'Cause now we playing. Now it looks a bit more dynamic, and I'm beginning to like it. And this is how I was able to get those that shading on both of those other paintings. I might have to stand up. This is going to be a little darker, so I just want to work on the arm right here. Right here. Oh, I'm sorry that, but anyway, no, thank you for showing up. Thank you for hanging out. I'll catch you on the next one if I can. Again, have a good one. there. Oh man. Nope. Something happened to my desk and it won't move now. I'll suffer for the craft. I'll suffer for you. I'm kidding. I am suffering though. Wipe, wipe. All right, that's coming out. It's coming out. Maybe that could be the way that I salvage the cape. That cape really is bothering me. I may be at a point of no return with that cape. Maybe. Increasing that arm. Alright. I might need to go through this again just to smooth it out some more, but we are moving along. What time has it? It's been 2 hours. Let me see. How far can I go? I need more dynamic lighting down here and here, back here. Maybe I can glaze it. Probably Omer wood. But this wasn't bad. This is not a bad test. Let's see. Trying to sneak in some blue in her hair. Add some dynamic lighting in here. Just to help the eyes move around. I still gotta darken up, but I like the way it looks. I'm afraid her eyebrows. And I gotta clean my water. I gotta do a lot of cleaning. You guys hear my cat in the background? She is safe. She's just deaf. She's old. So, she's not in danger. I'm gonna use a little bit of this brown here for her eye here. Even though I'm ultimately probably gonna do it in black, I just need a placeholder for it, for my black. I'll tell you one thing I don't like about that gesso. It leaves a really tackiness, a weird tackiness on the paper. So if I were to complain, besides not knowing how to use it right, it'd be that. I'm gonna give her a shadow. Sorry. I'm gonna make her eyes blue, but I'm gonna use this brown as my base. Just to build up. And you really can't even tell the brown from this angle and from this height. Let me see if I can zoom in on the face. And there you go. All right, I'm going to let this do its thing. I have maybe another session of this to do, maybe more. I think I'm going to call it right now. But guys, before I leave, I would like to ask you guys for some help. Some help for some fellow YouTubers who are in need. I am selling 3 pieces of art, and I'll show you those in a hot second. I'm selling 3 pieces of art. You can check out on my Ko-fi, right here, on my Ko-fi, at the coffee shop. If you go there, you can check out 3 pieces that I have for sale. They're going to some GoFundMes to these 2 gentlemen who are in need. Shadowhawk, you can check out his YouTube channel, Shadowhawk. And you know what, guys? I'll see if I can put their information on the description, or you guys, if you want to check out my latest post on my YouTube homepage. And Don Draws need he got some damage done to the roof of his house and his ceiling, and they got some black mold in there, and they need some help with some financial help with some repairs. So all I'm asking, every red cent that I get from those paintings is going directly to the GoFundMe of those 2 gentlemen. And give me a second, I'll show them to you. So yes, so these are the, sorry, I keep bumping into everything. I'm gonna make a mess here. Move this over so I won't ruin it. Move her over, she's coming out pretty good. These are the 3 pieces that are on sale at my coffee shop, for sale. The truth is, I'm trying to raise $200 to help them out, so I can split those, to split that amount for both GoFundMe pages. Okay, 200 beans to get you all 3, or you could buy them separately. Okay, and to do that, just go ahead, like I said, go to my coffee shop, kofi.com/mellow-art, and check those out. I have the Predator here. This is original art. This is my Bristol board. It'll be signed. I'll have a certificate of authenticity from myself and from March of the Round Table studio that I've created. Pencil, ink wash, Okay, that's one of them. The second one is a portrait of Magnus in black canvas. Eric Lencher, the Magneto. Okay. And lastly, this recent painting of Spider-Man. Let me fix this. This is a 10 by 20 inch canvas. This is gouache. It's been sealed and it's ready to go. Can't see it. Signed and ready to go. Okay. I can't really say too much about the prices on YouTube. I don't know how they deal with this type of stuff, honestly. So just to be safe, please hit up the coffee shop. I'm going to put stuff on my links and description and on my post. Just go there and check out this stuff, guys. If you know who I'm talking about, Shadowhawk Talk with Shadowhawk on YouTube, or Don Draws from the show, check out their pages. They have their own GoFundMes, but I am selling these for their purpose. And Mr. Ike, how are you, Ike? How you doing, Ike? It's a pleasure to see you there, man. I am hawking my wares. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to help out some fellow YouTubers. Humbly asking for help. They are, and I'm trying to help as much as I can. I was able to donate and buy some original art from Omer Glitch from his channel and his auction. They had an auction this weekend, and I asked if I can sell some stuff that's going to go specifically to those GoFundMes. To learn more, you could go to my page and that type of stuff. So it'd be great. My weekend, sir, was fantastic. Fantastic. Got to spend it with all my children's wife. We got to hang out in the house. I was able to smoke a brisket and some lamb shanks for resurrection dinner, Easter dinner. We binged The Chosen season 5, the first 8 episodes, the Last Supper episodes. It was all great. And just feeling good, man. And just yeah, I'll show you what I was working on today on this stream. I'm painting this cute Supergirl on, this is a comic book I bought. And before I start saying all that stuff, how was your weekend, man? I hope it was fantastic as well. So, I bought these comic book blank cover comic books, a bunch of them. I'm curious how I'm going to do this black one, but you can tell how goofy I am of the type of stuff that I have here. Xena, Tarzan, and Sheena, the Power Rangers. Come on, y'all. Where my people at? Darkwing Duck, Transformers. I'm gonna try to do Grimlock of the Dinobots here. Oh, if I can do it. Anyway, Shadow and the Batman, Iron Man, and Daredevil. So I'm gonna do this. This is from that same place that I'm doing a consignment. I'm trying to do a consignment for. So this is one of those covers, and I'm using gouache, and the cover felt like Bristol board, like a very low, not a very heavy Bristol board, but it felt very similar. So I thought I can use it similarly, which is what I did. So I didn't use any fixative. I drew this in pencil, in blue pencil, and I used a clear gesso, which was surprising because I didn't read all the instructions of this thing or the details. This has a very smooth texture, where I prefer a more coarse texture. But it held up. I just have to kind of I had to adapt to the smoothness and adapt to how the gouache paint will travel on the page. But so far so good. I think this part's good. I have to do some work on that cape. I think I muddied it too much just because I don't know. I really don't know why I muddied it too much. It just happened. I blame me. It's all my fault. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Las 4? Okay, so it's 4 o'clock. I stuck around. Oh, that's not bad. 2 hours. This is impromptu. I had gotten some news, concerning news from family, and I wanted to get out of my head and try to do something positive and keep my mind busy. Like I said earlier, the devil is a liar, and I rebuke him, and I will not allow him to dictate by ruining things around me and me putting credence on it and feeling down or feeling some type of way. So I drew the beautiful Supergirl. One, because they're giving so much flack to the actress Millie Alcock, I think her name is. And it's not like I'm not a champion for her or the movie or anything like that. I'm a champion for the character and the people that created it and her amazing stories. I think that people are just mean and saying mean things about that actress because of certain things or because they're just terrible people. They're not terrible. They're just being mean about her appearance and what she looks like. And I think that it's like, no, put this on the map. Be nice. Be nice. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. And not everybody can be Helen Slater. Come on. What is her name? Yeah, Millie Alcock. I think she's gonna tear it. I think she's gonna do good in the role and in the part they gave her. I think that whatever people have, whatever preconceptions they have of what it's supposed to be, I think they just need to get over it. I think they should read the I think it's called The Woman of Tomorrow by Everly Bilquist. They should read that. I think Everly just won an Eisner. I don't know if it was for that book, but she's definitely an Eisner Award winner from her art. The story's amazing, and the art's amazing, and they adapted that. So people need to maybe just get past their whatever they feel beauty is and look into themselves, and they'll be all right. But with that said, I think I'm going to call it. Fitty if I'll be on tomorrow, but I'll be doing something. If I'm on tomorrow again, of course, I will be hawking my wares for those two gentlemen for the Shadowhawk show, for the YouTube. I wish I can, I have his name somewhere, and I don't want to be rude. And I'll have more information on how to contribute to their GoFundMes directly. If you guys don't want any of my art haul, that's okay. Or if you're not in a place to give, that's okay as well. Just share it. Share it to people who like art or who want to support. So, with that said, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to call it. This is Art to the Round Table. My name is Mello, and as always, I'll draw you later. God bless you. Bye-bye.